male sitting down here? Why not when Helen Johnson told you she spent money on the rebels? Why not when you had men that are sitting down in power today, confessing that they did this, they did that? You never brought the war crime code, but it is now that the wounds are being healed and you want to bring the war crime. Why now? So then why did the international community allow her to run for the presidency? So even the international community are abettors of the crime in Liberia because she should have never ran. I'm saying the UN is an abettor to the crimes in our country. We should stop this thing. These our slave masters are still running our countries and messing us up.
Representative George, where do you stand with the establishment of the war crime court?
I say, why now? That's my question.
Why now? It's just a question.
Why now is I do not accept it now.
You don't want
Somebody
it.
telling me that Gifty was making love to Peters in the car. Only Jesus can tell me that I will accept. Only Jesus. No CID, NSA, FBI report will make me to accept it. No kind of a report will make me to agree that Gifty Lama was in the car on Broad Street having sex. Whereas when we went there, I was there when police opened that vehicle.
Okay.
We noticed that there was sand in her shoes and on her feet.
Okay.
So the Broad Street play got sand now. Broad Street got sand. Where part of Broad Street is sand coming from? I refuse to accept that. Anybody wants to get angry with me, let them get angry with me. I refuse it any day, anytime.
Okay.
Gifty Lama never died on Broad Street. She died somewhere else. They were brought on Broad Street. I say so. I, Solomon Claudius George.
There was report that Peters and Lama died from carbon monoxide. No, George, this autopsy report. Where do you also stand on that report?
I just told you.
Yes.
Only Jesus Christ.
Sure that people gave back that which they stole from the people to rebuild this country, to provide life. Today we are in a situation with this pandemic. Where do we stand? Where are the drugs? I mean, we just right around here. Look at the misery in which people live. Look at the roads. You go to red light. Is that the kind of country that you want to be in? One of the things that I read and always touches me when they ask people what country you want to be born into. All of us want to go to beautiful places. I'm one person. Everything good I see elsewhere, I say I wish they were in Liberia. I do not enjoy things in other countries. And so what do you want is to enjoy life in other people's country. When you come home, you can't even measure up. And why is that happening? Do we lack talent? No. We have a lot of talented people. Are people not working hard? They are. But should somebody else let the people just work and forever be at their gate? That's not a way of life. And so you should be able to account for that confidence that you say is reposing you to serve the people. You
remember there when you cut out of convincing my man, we can't be here, we gotta leave the people in my man, let's try to go. When I received the call that you Costa were coming to leave because the police is getting ready to move in, you were aware that the police.
The weekend 180,000 in tax money from the Liberian government, for which he was dragged to court 2010. 2012, he was announced convicted. This is the man also condemned by FIFA as a fraudster. This is the man who is in the midst of the CPP, and the CPP is now throwing what I call a cordon sanitaire around him. Now, if you have a guy who is a potential contaminant and you have it in your midst, what do you think will happen? He will contaminate everybody. You know, this man is a walking corruption virus. Anything he comes in contact with, anything he touches, he contaminates. The CPP will be contaminated very soon because my own Liberty Party is now contaminated. People in the Liberty Party who took Picot responsibility today, they are defending him up and down the country. They are even though they know Mr. Ability was condemned by FIFA for 10 years as a fraudster. Even though they know Mr. Ability was convicted of tax evasion, fraud. Dillon posted on his Facebook and LinkedIn page that he graduated from St. Peter Clever High School in Buchanan, 1989. When people show up from St. Peter Clever High School,
was that not the case? Was that not the case?
But brother, right now the evidence they don't show to you now. You ain't drive from St. Peter again because the witnesses from St. Peter were overwhelming. They said, Dylan, you ain't drive from high school. Why you lying? Then he suddenly went to Wellhurst and said, oh no, I forget. I don't St. Peter I graduated from. That Wellhurst I graduated from now. You see, brother, how can one man graduate from 2 high school in the same year? How is that possible, brother? It's not. So it shows that this brother
maybe he's a genius.
But in years that two have to your own driver.
You'll be sarcastic.
Let's get serious, man. We will not do this in our country.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I can call you names of people who testify to the fact that Dillon did not graduate from St. Peter, for which he took down. He took down his first CV that indicated that he graduated from Wellhurst. I got picture of that CV because Dillon was in a major debate with a colleague of mine called Lami Pagoy. It was Lami Pagoy who pushed Dillon, and then Dillon took down. He already took down the CV that said he graduated from Wellhurst. He graduated from St. Peter Clare High School in Buchanan. And so that man who said he graduated from St. Peter Clare High School in Buchanan in 1989 turned around because witnesses showed that he did not graduate from St. Peter and said he ran to Wellhurst and said, "Oh, that Wellhurst I graduated from now." But even at that, he is yet to show an authentic document like the YS certificate to convince us that he is a bona fide high school graduate. He has not done so. Even the document he submitted to Lok Sabha, the Indian Parliamentary Training Program, we are told that in that document he claimed to have been a BSc holder. An unspeakable disgrace and a letdown to the Liberian people, especially when you look at the outcome of the convention. That convention produced a gentleman who is known locally and internationally for his corruptible conduct. Besides, the processes leading to the convention were undemocratic, and that was the beginning of the prostitution of the values that the Liberty Party stand for or espouses. So that convention is a joke. It was in contravention of the party's constitution. That position has been eloquently articulated by one of our colleagues by the name of Clark Toomey. Clark Toomey was an aspirant in the convention. He went there. He wanted to be a Secretary General of the party, and when he went to the convention, in contravention of the party's constitution, it was the beginning of the bastardization of the integrity standard in the Liberty Party.
Mr. Jackson, somebody listening to you want to know what you mean by the convention was prepackaged.
It was prepackaged in the sense that they arranged it beforehand. Who will be chairman? Who will be secretary? Who will be?
So in short, he's saying it was rigged.
So it was pre-arranged. All right. These people are determined in their irreligious action to undermine the foundational principle and doctrine of the Liberty Party. You know that I am a founding executive member, not just of the Liberty Party, but the three arrangements that gave prominence to Councillor Bronsky when he fled from the Charles Taylor regime. The three arrangements that we established. Number one was the United Democratic Party, the Liberty Party, and the Friends of Bronsky. Those institutions aspire to two fundamental doctrines. Number one, establishing a nation under the rule of law. That was the first principle that we all stood for. The second thing was the integrity standard. Today, the people who are providing leadership for the party, they have absolutely no regard, no decent regard for integrity. They have no decent regard for even the respect for rule of law. They are organizing convention in contravention of the party constitution. They have come and brought on board something.
I like it. I like
a little bit of trickery, a little bit of this and that. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another presentation of the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And today is Tuesday, the 11th day of April 2023. What a way I'd like to welcome you to the program this morning on ABC Radio 105.1 and on our social media platforms on Facebook, at ABC Radio 105.1 official, and on YouTube at ABC Radio 105 official. I'd like to welcome you to another presentation of the program this morning. See how you control it. Ooh, they make me come back for more. I love the way you roll it. I know we just control it. Ooh, what I'm looking for. I hope you had yourself a great night last night and looking forward to what the day has today. On this morning's presentation of the program, as always, we take our motivational quote, our African proverb. We give you traffic alerts and go across the country to find out from our correspondents what's obtaining in other parts of Liberia, and then come back right here and enter our key discussion points. And this morning we'll be looking at the Executive Mansion's response to the Rainbow Alliance political leaders' comments against the president. And as well as protest action of drug abuse across the country. And then we look at power theft a bit this morning. And then at 9 o'clock, we play host to former Maryland County Senator John Ballard. Ambassador John Ballard will be our guest at 9 o'clock this morning on the program. He's been making some media rounds and advocating for an opposition collaboration, a strong opposition collaboration. And he has in mind the UP and ANC collaboration. And he'll be expanding on that this morning on the program. And so that's how the program looks like this morning on the Morning Breeze. Invite a friend to listen along with you, to watch along with you as well. Numopo Tiaguba say is watching this morning. That was a teaser, my brother. And to all of you watching via our live Facebook feed, just comment your location where you're watching from, and let's get you on this morning. And so our motivational quote says, it's hard to beat a person who never gives up. It's hard to beat a person who never gives up. Oh yeah, consistency pays and is the key to success. Our African proverb says, rain beats the leopard's skin, but it does not watch out the spots. Rain beats the leopard's skin, but it does not watch out the spots. So regardless of how you try to change a person's character, you just can't. That is how the person was made. That is their inward characteristics. So you can't do anything about it. In the same vein, if you develop a bad reputation, it's difficult to change other people's opinions about you. And so they will think about you the way you portray yourself. Okay? And so that's our motivational quote for the morning, an African proverb. I hope you use those wise words that is to think about your day's activities and how you move with your life. And so let's give you our traffic alerts this morning. Yep, across the city, let's give you our traffic alerts. If you're living from Pinsville, you must watch out for the traffic at SKD Boulevard Junction. And then when you are approaching town, the 540, okay, in Congo Town as well, the 540 Junction, you should be aware of that area right by the ministerial complex. And then around the Catholic Junction as well, there's always a bit of traffic there. You also have to be aware of that traffic. And as you push further down to town, around the Oro Junction, right before the ministerial complex, that's before the Invisible Sports Park, you also have to be aware of the traffic there. And then Vamoma as well, there's a bit of traffic always there. And as you cross Vamoma, 200th Street also has a bit of traffic. It depends the time of the morning you are around there. And then the Jalatown route as well. Just a Capital Bypass at the intersection of Jalatown Capital Bypass and Camp Johnson Road. You also have to be aware of the traffic there as well. If you're coming from the Bourgeois Island Inn, specifically from the St. Paul Bridge Inn, you also have to be aware of traffic just before you get to Momo Town Junction, before you get to Douala around BF Factory. There's a bit of traffic there. And if you decide to use the Momo Town route just before the Kawa Bridge, there's a bit of traffic there as well. It's always built up there, so you have to be aware. And if you're using the straight route to Douala, you also have to be aware of the traffic in Douala. And as you approach Carwell Junction, you also have to be aware of the traffic as well. The same applies to those who are coming from the Carwell Inn. Remember the Carwell New Georgia Junction Inn. There's always a bit of traffic there. You also have to be aware of that. And as you approach the Carwell Bridge, of course, there's always traffic there as well. And again, all these are dependent on the time of the day you are coming, but those are hot traffic spots, and you have to be aware. Okay. And if you're using the Somalia Drive-In coming towards Freeport of Monrovia, traffic alerts for Batnersville Junction and New Georgia Junction. There's a bit of traffic always around there as well. And so those are our traffic alerts. Let's now go across the country to get in contact with our correspondents. Let's hear what's going on in other parts of Liberia. As is normally said, Monrovia is not Liberia. And so let's get in contact with our correspondents and hear what's going on in other parts of Liberia. We'll begin now from Grand Bassa County with our man Prince Wampaloo. He's pretty seated. Let's get in contact with Prince Wampaloo this morning and find out what's going on in the port city of Buchanan.
Girl, I love the way you roll it. See how you control it. Ooh, you done make me come back for more. Hey, oh no, I love the way you roll it. No, you just control it. Ooh, you see now what I'm looking for. Hey, as we step into the club, see how people just enjoy. They say, pick up and pull it. Guys are keeping it so strong. See, we no go ever stop. We are headed to the top as the music they go. And all of a sudden, see this girl, they eye me, yeah. Looking so inviting.
And so we're trying to get in contact with Prince Wampaloo there in Grand Bassa County, the port city of Buchanan. Let's find out what's going on in Buchanan City this morning. Our man Prince Wampaloo is pretty seated and comfortably on the line. Prince, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Fidel. Good morning to your co-host and good morning to our many listeners.
How is Grand Bassa County this morning?
Well, Bassa is actually okay. We have the morning breeze again because we're dealing with the breeze show. So the morning breeze
Mhm.
for the Atlantic Ocean is feeding Buchanan City and the other districts.
That's good. Tell us what's the major happening in Buchanan, Grand Bassa as a whole.
Okay, Fidel, just 2 months to the 14 county council sitting of Grand Bassa County.
Mhm.
The civil society chairperson, who is the representative of the civil society on the board of the county sitting,
Mhm.
has resigned his position on grounds that 5 million, he alleged the 5 billion United States that has not been fully accounted for by the leadership of Grand Bassa County, so he can no longer sit under them for the 14 county council sitting. It's supposed to take place in June of this year. And Mr. Badet took part in his arguments that, for example, Accidental Liberia,
Mhm.
Equatorial Palm Ore, and there are other companies paying royalty to the county, and they are not be fully accounted for by the people of the leadership of Grand Bassa County. So he don't see them fit, he don't see them necessary for association. So he has turned in his resignation. But a quick response to that came from the youth exposed chairperson of Grand Bassa County. I was said that Mr. Bade Topa has no moral standing to question the authority of Grand Bassa County because he won't serve as a development superintendent under the regime of former President Eddie Johnson Sirleaf, and when former General Minister Gio Duncan Cassell was superintendent of Grand Bassa County. And there was the issue of current with ArcelorMittal to distribute current in Buchanan City.
Mhm.
It did not come also separate. So people are bringing all his on the past forward, but from his angle, he's looking at himself in a position as a civil society person and not as a former development superintendent of Grand Bassa County.
No, but I mean, are there clear pieces of evidence to tie these leaders? Have you heard from other county officials regarding the usage of this $5 million?
So the 5 million they want to calculate as a result of the county development form from ArcelorMittal Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that the past county cities were attending, they have been budgeted allotted to various projects, and these projects cannot be implemented, and the money cannot be accounted for properly. And according to his calculation, if you sum all of these money we're talking about in 5 years period, we're talking about $5 million United States dollars, and the people of Bassa lives are not improved. But yeah, what is happening? You know, when your money is being placed into the account, the Ministry of Finance will clear this money Fidel. It goes through a lot of other processes. So if you definitely accept only for the aspect of the ArcelorMittal like giving Bassa $1 million. Well, how is the money? What's the transfer of the money? How do the people of Bassa have access to this money? It goes to the Ministry of Finance. It goes to the other extra account. And so the county sometimes, according to the superintendent, finds it very difficult to get the money. So they appeal to the lawmakers, to engage finance minister. So they are saying from the angle that, look, it's not just about getting the money, but it takes time in getting the money. And so that's the administration response to the matter.
So besides the administration also accusing the civil society actor of being a part of the past administration, what cogent evidence do they have in terms of corruption allegation that warrants him not having the moral rectitude to speak to this matter?
So, all right, when he was serving as a development superintendent, according to the youth and sports coordinator with part of the local administration of Grand Bassa County, when he was serving, there was money allotted for, like I said, to electrify Buchanan City. That was a partnership between ArcelorMittal Liberia that just came into being, and they were very hard to get the people of Bassa current. So he was a development superintendent spearheading the project. And there was a project given for the road form in district number 3, according to the youth and sports coordinator alleging that he did not get full account of the money, and the project, when I accounted for, there is no blueprint of the project, and then he later on he did not serve in the position again. So meaning that he should not be speaking in this term. But the question people are asking the local administration data for the civil society chairperson is, you have been, for example, civil society, you have been there for a long period of time. Why now you want to exempt yourself from the process? Because you have been part of it, you have been representing civil society. It said that there was an unexpected money from there that you did not get. That's what the question coming from quarters from some residents of Grand Bassa County. On the side of the county administration, Mr. Barrett also alleged that the past county, the 13th county council sitting, there was money allotted for the conduct of audit in Grand Bassa County, the local administration. And now, and this particular county city is making it 40, so meaning 1 whole year period, that money was allotted, there was no outcome of it because there was no audit of the county, and there's no result. And for example, with the news in the air that the superintendent resign and other local leaders who want to contest will resign, so there's no accountability that people are going.
Okay.
So that's the reason, that's the reason why he doesn't want to focus on the civil society representation at the level of the county council city.
Thank you so much, Prince. Again, it's nice having you on the program this morning.
Always a pleasure, Fidel.
Okay, he's our man there from Grand Bassa County. Prince Yukonje Wampulu. Let's now run to Bone County, where our man Nathan Colley is pretty seated. Nathan Colley is from Bone County. Let's know exactly what's obtaining in Bone County as per the happenings across the country. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. We are taking our usual rounds across the country. Nathan Colley is on the line right now. Let's connect him. Good morning, Nathan. How is Banga City?
Yeah, well, Banga is relatively calm with the kind of weather we're experiencing morning. Very handsome weather this morning.
Okay. Now tell us, what's the major happening in Banga County?
Yeah, over the weekend, in our efforts to budget the Bone County Health Team, a representative aspiring in like District number 1, it presented a brand new ambulance to the citizens of District number 1, and District number 1 comprises Kukuya, Tobagri, Bossing. So he presented the ambulance to the citizens there.
Okay.
And just beside okay, quiet.
Okay. So what was the reason given for the presentation of this ambulance?
Yeah, according to him, after the program we interviewed, he saw the need to then get the ambulance because for several times, pregnant women have died in giving birth. So he saw the necessary to present the ambulance to the citizens of Bar District.
Now, how?
And,
go ahead.
Okay, yeah, and just beside that, there was a welcoming ceremony held at the district headquarters in Palala, where you have several citizens from across the district were gathered and they appreciated the expiring from the donation, and they also crying because Wamankoja have contested twice, contested the 2011 election. He was defeated. In 2017, he contested and came during the election. So he been able to provide a loan for market women. He have based on rule, he have provided food for the material working in the district because district number 1, one of the biggest districts in Bone County because it comprises full sub administrative district. Talk about the Bone Center, talk about Tubabli, Kukio, and by itself.
Now, how accessible are these places to health care delivery in that part of the county?
It's really challenging. It's saying he started his political process in contributing to the health sector, but because like I stated, like been providing food during the COVID-19, the Ebola, and provided food for those people clinics in the district, and also providing food currently at the maternity in the district.
Okay. Now, what was the response from the health facility?
Well, they struck commendation to the representative aspiring because they say it's not the first of income in the process to deliver them. And several of the citizens were like jubilating because it was one of the first of income for aspiring to donate the amulet to the district. So they were like happy. They are glowing for the donation and they promise to support for the October 10 presidential elections.
Okay. All right, Nathan, thank you so much. And we look forward to hearing from you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, he's our man, Nathan Colley, there in Bone County, where a representative aspirant has donated an ambulance to a health facility in that part of the country. to help in their easy access to quality health delivery, especially for those for pregnant women in that part of the country. That's good. Good indeed. And quality health care is key to maintaining a healthy society. Let's now run to Margibi County, where our man Walcott Kerry is. Walcott Kerry is in Margibi County. Let's see what's happening in Margibi this morning on the program. The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. Keep sharing our video and liking our page, follow as well. Walcott Kerry is currently on the line. Good morning, Walcott.
Yeah, good morning to you, and good morning to our valued listeners.
How is Kakata City this morning?
Kakata is relatively calm and peaceful, as all of the sectors are on their gear, at least to make ends meet.
Okay. What is the latest from Kakata City? Margibi County, holistically.
Yeah, as we speak, we have a very fine weather this morning. Praise God Almighty. And the Kakatonians and the Margibians are making their way to the 13th Judicial Circuit Court. Most of them are making their way to the 13th Judicial Circuit Court in order to call on the justice system of Margibi County to dispense fair, equitable, and credible justice, especially when it comes to cases in court docket. And according to most of them that talk with the press, including ABC Radio, said too many cases in the court, especially criminal cases in the court docket, but because of delay in presiding over these cases is making the justice system to be delayed. And secondly, the issue about cash. Most people that's supposed to have justice, because they lack the finances, and those that are on the contrary wrong side because of they having the cash and they can spend the cash, so justice is given to them, which according to the Margibians, they said this is a biased justice system in the judicial setting in Margibi County. So they are making their way gradually to ensure that politely they call on the justice system of the county to dispense fair and credible justice.
Now, this may have been the regular occurrence in the judicial system in Margibi County. Why are they alarmed now? Why are they moving to the coast this morning?
Well, as a result, all works and no play make Jack a dull boy, and all play and no work also make Jack to be a very proactive man. So they have seen the reason as a result of the delay in the justice system, and because of the unfair dispensation of justice, especially amongst Margibians and even other people. So that is why they want to call on the justice system led by some human rights organizations in Margibi County to at least tighten up their belt and ensure that this time around, as we are approaching the 2023 crucial elections as a gateway to Liberia's development, they want to see the justice system be in a very, very proactive way, at least to the common benefit of all and sundry, not only Margibians.
Thank you so much, Walcott Kerry. It was nice having you on the program this morning.
Thank you so much, and thank you to our valued listeners. And the trucking exercise ended this gone Sunday in Margibi County, especially the voter registration exercise ended with a lot of trucking activities from every sectors, especially the incumbents in the 5 political districts in Margibi County, and even those aspirants. But at the end of the day, it will just be like just Darwin theory. Only the strong will survive, survival of the fittest, and the elections will go on, and we'll pray for peace.
Okay, thank you so much, Walcott Kerry. I like that. All right, survival of the fittest. Yes, Walcott Kerry will be at the end of the day. It will be survival of the fittest. So let's go back. Let's go back. Where do we go now? Let's go to Lofa County. Before we get to Grand Crew, let's get to Lofa County and speak with our man Samuel Bole in Lofa County. What's happening there? We need to find out as well. But keep sharing the video. Keep liking our page, following following as well and sharing our content this morning. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1, right here in the nation's capital, Monrovia, from Central Monrovia. We're right here from Central Monrovia, between Broad and Buchanan Streets, opposite the National Museum is where we broadcast from. And if you are just tuning in, we'd like to welcome you to our broadcast this morning. We have tough issues to talk about this morning. And of course, as always, we'll be stepping on some big toes this morning. But again, it's about the motherland. The job that we do calls for us being fair, being transparent in our actions. And so when we do these things, we do it with the love for motherland. So no hard feelings. We can get our man from Lofa County. Let's run to Grand Crew. What our man Frederick Coleman is. Let's get to Frederick Coleman this morning from Grand Crew County and get to know what's happening. Just 2 minutes up to 8 o'clock on the Morning Breeze this morning. And we're trying to jam out and get words from our correspondents. And let's be abreast of what's happening in other parts of Liberia. All right. So invite a friend to listen along with you. Our guys, I don't know, for some reason, getting them in the morning is difficult. I need to have a conversation with them because we relied on them to make the program what it is. All right. But let's get to let's get to Nimba. Is our guy in Nimba ready? Is our guy in Nimba ready? Let's get to Nimba County. If not, then we'll come back right here in Monrovia and start our conversation on the program. Joseph Kakula is in Nimba County, and let's hope we get Joseph on the line from Saklepi in Nimba County, where he currently resides. All right, okay, but we can't get out, man. We can't get him. Of course, there's no patience for this. We can't get our man from Nimba County, so we're right here in Monrovia. Yeah. Right here in Monrovia is where we are now. So let's first of all, we know the biometric voter registration exercise is done now for the first phase. The first phase is done, and we know if you are in Monrovia, you are in Montserrado, you are in Magibi, you are in Grand Bassa, you are in Cape Mount, you are in Bummy, and you've not registered yet, it means you will not be a part of the October 10 general and presidential elections. That is clear. Except by some means you decide to go to one of these counties that are still awaiting the second phase, which begins on the 29th of April. Then you can get registered and vote in the elections. But by that way, you will not be voting your will in the legislative elections, because it's like you just want to vote in the presidential elections. That's why you're going to that county to register. But as it is right now, in the first 6 counties, if you are a resident of those counties and you've not registered yet, it means you will not be a part of the elections. That is clear. There is no extension in the registration process, even though there have been appeals from several citizens regarding the need to extend the process, but that is not the case now. And so if you're not registered in the 6 counties, know that you will not be a part of the elections. Now, let's go to our first talking point this morning. The last time we revealed what the chairman, the political leader of the Rainbow Alliance, Reginald Gorridge, the allegation he made against the president, that the president told him that he was a criminal. The president said that he was the one who took his car, his Mercedes-Benz, from the yard on Nam Street and used it. Remember now, Reginald Gorridge was information minister under the Charles Taylor regime, and he was the spokesman of the government. And so when the president made these allegations, there were several analyses that we made. First of all, we needed to have established as to whether the president said this to him, and also to establish whether these allegations are true. But the basis of our analysis then was that We were not in the gathering. We were not there when these statements were allegedly made by the president. So it was difficult for us to give a clear-cut opinion on the matter. Now, the presidential press secretary, Solo Kwebe, granted an interview to Front Page Africa. And in that interview, he indicated that the statement of the president was true. That is to say that yes, it is now verified that the president made the allegations against Reginald Gorridge, something that we initially had doubts about, because like we said, we could not verify whether it is true that the president said this to Reginald Gorridge. Now that that has been established, that the president actually said this to Reginald Gorridge, it is important that we'll make our opinions on this matter as well. So, the presidential press secretary indicated that the president was right to have said this to him, and in fact, that these things have been said to him in the past, but it was done out of joke. Like we said maybe it was out of joke that the president said it, and that has been confirmed by the presidential press secretary, that the president normally jokes with Reginald Gorridge that you are enjoying the peace now, the peace that we all fought for. You are now enjoying the peace. There's no one harassing you. You are making statements as you want to, and there's nobody chasing you. So it was an indication that this has been a normal parting between big guys. It has been a normal parting, between Reginald Gorridge and the president. So it shouldn't have been anything for Reginald Gorridge to have taken out of context. Please, let me take this break and take this call. Very important call right here this morning. A few seconds, please.
I like it. Ooh, I like it. So girl, I love the way you roll it. See how you control it.
Okay, welcome back to the program. I'm sorry about that. I had to take that call. So as I was saying, we've established that the president actually made this statement, but that statement was made out of the normal joke that they share. Now, again, it creates a bit of doubt. We were not there. We've not been there with the conversation between the president and Reginald Gorridge. We've not been there. But clearly, the presidential spokesman said this was a joke from the president and that there was no need for Reginald Gorridge to have amplified this situation. But according to him, it is understandable that he has actually amplified this situation because we are in political times. All right? We are in political times. So the intent of elevating this comment from the president, which according to Solo Kegbe, is not the first of its kind by the president, was actually because of political recognition that Reginald Gorridge was seeking from the Liberian people. And so he decided to make this statement to appear like he and the president were in beef. He made it appear like he and the president were in beef, which is not the case. Now, here is the issue. And, when these things come around, we also have to provide what we believe is the right thing to say at this point in time. Mr. President has said this to this man repeatedly, according to Solo Kwekwe. And there has not been any bad reaction from Reginald Gorridge. He has always taken it in good faith. And then the question is, what is the rationale behind the president's constant reminder of Reginald Gorridge of what he did in the past? What is the intent? Why does he remind Reginald Gorridge of what Reginald did in the past? What's the intent? What is the intent? Now, in my mind, considering the occasion that they went to at Farmington, the Farmington River Declaration, that was intended to commit political parties and state actors to the peace of our country while we go to these elections. That was the wrong environment to have brought up such a conversation. As jokingly as the president may have been, you could not, and again, it was not a good thing to second guess the reaction of Reginald Gorich. So clearly, it was not a good thing to do by the president. I mean, it's something they've joked about. Granted. But must he be constantly reminded? It's like, sorry, it's like me reminding someone who has done wrong to me of their wrong. And do you think at a certain point in time, this person will not get intimidated or say, will not take my statement out of context because of the way it was said or the occasion at which it was said? Considering what has happened in Liberia now. So to conclude on this matter, I believe that, again, if the president was joking about this, I believe that occasion was not the right place to have joked about it. We all know how joking the president can be sometimes, at least for us who've interacted with him. We know how he can be sometimes. But I believe that at that point in time, especially that you've said this continuously to this man, constantly reminding him of his action, after that shouldn't have been said at that point in time. As jokingly as you thought it was, but now it has been taken out of context. Now the executive mansion has reacted and said this is true. In fact, Reginald Gorich actually took the president, Ambassador Weah's car. That's true. In fact, he burned down Ambassador Weah's residence. According to him, that's true as well. Except that whenever the president says that, it is said in a joking manner. That's what Solo Kekwe said. So that's for you to decide. It is not my place to decide whether it's true that the president was joking or he was not joking. But it is true that he said it. That is confirmed by the presidential press secretary. So all the apprehensions we may have had about whether or not this is true, those apprehensions have been cleared by the statement of the presidential press secretary. Now, let's go to another serious matter we've been talking about of recent. The issue of substance abuse. We spoke about the need for the Liberian Senate to pass its version of the drug law. Now, this is very important. I know we are very good at frequently violating our laws, but it is good that these things are on the book. There is a law there that people can reference and say, this is the drug law. This is what should happen to Mr. X, Y, and Z who's involved into the importation or the sale of drugs, narcotic substances, so to speak. It is not any time important than this. And the Senate has to realize that we are at a stage where if we do not deal with this issue of the consumption of narcotic substances by the young people of this country, we will be heading to a lost generation. That is what we will have, because it is spreading. You can find it in high schools, at universities. There is no restriction right now. There is absolutely no restriction. And the thing is, these young people, I don't know whether they are aware or not, but these young people, they continue to increase. Those who consume these narcotic substances, the number continues to increase at an exponential level. So on yesterday, a group petitioned the Ministry of Health to engage relevant authorities aimed at seeing a way in which they can address this issue of drugs in our country. Because those who are importing these substances, it appears they have a leeway where they are not interrogated, where they are not questioned, where the border entry points of our country are either porous or they are indulgent to the actions of these people. Because, pretty tell me, if a ghetto is in a community where there are lots of people there complaining about the existence of those ghettos, and yet the LDEA officers will go there and they do not take actions against these people, or maybe they go there under the guise of drug raid, and after a week or two, these same structures are erected and individuals still continue the sale of narcotic products in these communities. These are the real social issues that are affecting our country. And so the Liberian Senate has to carefully look at that. And then they can go to conference committee with the House of Representatives so as to ensure that the drug law is passed. When the law is passed, even if the government refuses, if state actors refuse to implement what is on the book, what the law says, we Liberians will be aware that there is an existence of a drug law that should be implemented to the fullest. And that when those who are responsible do not implement the law, then it means that the country is not serious for the fight against the importation of narcotic products. But we've been told, even though we cannot confirm, that there are some top officials of government that are involved in this. And this statement is indicting. And so we cannot independently verify. But if that is true, then I think these people are not doing well for our country. They are damaging our social structure. They are damaging the future of this country. They are damaging the capacity of our country to deal with the challenges that confront us tomorrow. Because these people who are being destroyed as a result of taking these drugs are the ones who are expected to be the future leaders of our country tomorrow. And if they are not in their sober minds to get educated and prepare themselves for future leadership, it means our country is doomed. Now, here is the security implication of the actions of these people who are taking drugs and the inaction of the government, and especially those who are responsible for ensuring that these substances do not enter Liberia or are not sold on the Liberian market. When we have a proliferation of ghettos across the country, and we have a lot of young people consuming these narcotic substances, we are building up an army of drug users, individuals who are non-compliant to the rule of law, and individuals who can take the laws in their hands at any point in time. It is a national security issue, because if these guys are in their number, they can bring havoc on any facility at any time. There are instances that we can point to regarding the actions of these people. The situation at the Douala Inn, where those Zogos burn down structures and burn tires in the streets of Bourgeois Island. And the situation on Broad Street, where stores were vandalized, properties were destroyed, because according to them, Finabono was supposed to give them money. Finabono did not give them the money, and so they were on rampage. Those are two instances that we can point to, coupled with several others that are taking place in the various communities. The harassment of individuals, the harassment of individuals on the street corners of Monrovia and its environs, the burglarizing of homes by these drug users, all right, the terrorizing of communities by these drug users. Those are the national security issues that the issue of drug poses to our country, Liberia. And the relevant authorities have to address these issues, because in my mind, when they are not addressed, they give room to a lot of issues that could be detrimental to the survival of our country tomorrow. We must take radical steps now. If the drug enforcement, Liberia National Drug Enforcement Agency, is not capacitated enough, it is the government's responsibility to ensure that this agency is giving the support that it needs to help fight drugs in our country. And the joint security has to make this a priority. The people of Rock Spring Valley were protesting on yesterday. They went at the Ministry of Internal Affairs on the same thing, the use of cooch. I don't know, people need to describe that thing to us, but people using cooch, and people have died as a result of that. This is concerning, and it's important that our state actors deal with this issue. Now, having said that, let's move to another important issue. And we are dealing with three issues this morning, and that is the issue of power theft. You know, the Liberia Electricity Corporation has been a bit more forthcoming as opposed to how it was a few months ago regarding power distribution in parts of our country, especially in and around Monrovia. I remember a period in time a few months ago where there were stiff criticisms on social media and different platforms regarding the performance of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. And what we have with the LEC is a big issue, which the LEC itself has not made efforts to address. If the LEC can sit on the table and invite different stakeholders, how this issue of electricity can be solved, there will be a permanent solution to what we have now. But here is my idea. First of all, let me commend Mary Broad, who has been doing a great job regarding power theft in our country. Power theft gives rise to what we consider as individuals who are paying for the electricity services are not enjoying it. And so as a result of that, there will be decline in the revenue generating capacity of the Liberia Electricity Corporation, because people will be stealing current and not paying for it. But how can that be addressed? I know that if there are strategies at the Liberia Electricity Corporation, they will find a means in which they can decentralize the operations of the LEC as it is done in other countries, so that when people have issues in their communities, they do not have to come to Central Monrovia to address those issues. They do not have to go to Bungman's Bridge to have those issues addressed. There are communities in which the LEC has her sub-branches. What can happen is to set up customer service depots in those sub-branches. And other communities where there are no sub-branches, they can set up depots, customer service depots that will deal with issues, immediately deal with issues arising in the communities. That is, if there is a malfunctioning meter that is in a particular community, the LEC has to ensure that those centers are set up within those communities so that individuals who have those problems can get directly to those centers, complain, and have their complaints addressed immediately. When there is a robust customer response from the Liberia Electricity Corporation, I believe the issue of power theft will be curbed. I believe so. That is happening in other countries. I spent like 4 months in Ghana. What happened is that when there is an issue, what you do is call the closest customer service department in Ghana, and that issue that you have will be addressed. The same can happen in Liberia. I don't know for some reason why we've not graduated from this archaic way of doing things. We know the solutions to our problems, but we do not make efforts in making sure that those solutions are perfectly effected so as to address those issues. That is the problem that we have in our country. We complain about things every now and then, but we do not have ideas or policies that tend to address these issues. We are all aware about the issue of LEC poll customer service. We are aware of that. But how do we graduate from that stage? The leaders at LEC, the managing director, the CEO at LEC, they have to craft a policy that solves that problem. For since Charlie King Town, we've been crying about poll service delivery by LEC, but nothing has been done. Or say nothing significant has been done to address that issue. You will call LEC and say your meter spoil. It will take whole year, almost whole year, before they can address that meter issue. Something that should be done immediately. Because the more you are able to respond to customers' demands, the more you are able to raise revenue, because those people will pay for the service they enjoy. They will pay for it. There should also be a policy that prohibits those who are working in these communities, because if you have a community depot in dealing with issues that customers have, obviously you will have a local concentration right there. So it means everything that happens within that community, that local depot will be aware. So assigning landsmen to go and deal with those issues, they will know the landsmen who are assigned in those areas. If there are issues of power theft, they can easily point to those landsmen and landsmen as being responsible for the power theft that's going on in those communities. But if you begin to decentralize the activities of the LEC, instead of just being dependent on the bourgeois plant, the office there in Central Monrovia, you will still have the issue of power theft existing in our country. And it will stop the Liberia Electricity Corporation from raising the needed revenue that is required to fully operate the LEC. That is what it is. That is just a simple solution. And I'm sure this is not just coming from me. These people are aware, but apparently they have a reason for doing what they do. They have a reason for not adequately addressing this problem so as to ensure that the problem of power theft is solved and that people are able to receive electricity on time. Because according to the LEC itself, a majority of the current that is generated, the power that is generated by the LEC, most of it go to power theft. And you know what it is? When people stealing current, they don't restrict what kind of appliance to put on the power. And that's why transformers are blowing off, because the transformers are heavily loaded. People load them. There's no restriction on the consumption of power. And so when it is loaded, boom, it blow off. So the community will say, we not get current for 1 month now. And LEC can. LEC has no instant response. And so LEC will not do that. So we like to commend the efforts of Madam Mary Bro and her team, what they've done over the time regarding this same power theft issue. But we have to find a solution to this problem so that we do not go in a revolving curve. Every now and then we have to get power theft people on the field because we do not have the stations that people can go to for their problems to be solved almost immediately. And that has to happen. That has to happen in order to make us as a country. I mean, just a few months ago, Money Captain complained that what they've been receiving from the West African power pool, that has already been consumed. So it means we shut on power. But can they account for how that power is used? That is another thing to talk about. And so the government has been dealing with this issue of constructing another dam in Lofa County that would deal with electricity issued in Lofa County and other mini dams across the country. I mean, I think that has to happen. I think what we need to do now is to graduate to solar. We need to graduate to solar. Because as it is now, the way the world is progressing, there are lots of investment being made in solar energy. Liberia can do same. Central Monrovia can have a solar farm. Maybe this is a congested area. So you go to places like maybe Cape Mount. There are large farmlands. You build your solar farm and generate power from those solar farms, and send it to other parts of the country. So we do not have to be solely reliant on heavy fuel and generators and just the McCoffey Hydro Dam, where when it's rainy season, the output is low. So these are issues that we look. The development of every country begins with the steps that are taken, the singular step that is taken. Since Charlie Kintan, we've been crying for, oh, LEC not get current, or boom, LEC gone. LEC in Kanye. In other countries, power is consistent. Consistently consistent. My experience in Ghana, when you recharge your meter and the current finishes from your meter, it goes off. Once you take out the card from the meter to go and recharge, the power immediately comes on. You have a 30 minutes grace period to go and recharge your card. After that 30 minutes, if you do not insert your card, the current goes off again. So maybe you just want to let the 30 minutes go before you put your card inside. So after the 30 minutes, when current go, you put your card inside right after recharging. Kaput, it's done. The same can be done in Liberia. Those who are doing these things in other parts of the world, they are not extra from us. They do not have extra brains. They are just using the wisdom that they have to develop their country. We can do same in Liberia. And so we are appealing to the LEC, the Liberia Electricity Corporation, that there is still much desired of you if we must have stable electricity in our country. And we've always spoken about development and for companies to come, manufacturing companies to come and start operating in our country. But the cost of operations alone is so high enough that people cannot employ the number of persons they want to, because they have to think about paying for bills that are very high, operating their own machines, which is very costly. So the way for us to deal with that is for us to invest in electricity, so that these big companies that we all pray for, that will provide jobs for our people, are able to come in, because there's less operational costs and they are able to make profits. The essence of the existence of any business is to make profit. So if that does not happen, of course, that company cannot operate. So that is my candid appeal to the Liberia Electricity Corporation. There's much that is desired of you in order to make our electricity constant, not only constant, but for it to be provided in a timely manner, and that those who are responsible for dealing with issues are able to be on time, so that we can still generate revenue. Every day the country crying no money, but there are places that we can do a lot. We have low-hanging fruits and high-hanging fruits. We can start with the low-hanging fruits and later go to the high-hanging fruit. But it is a process, and that process must be followed by all. And I'm praying the indulgence of the Liberia Electricity Corporation to look into this, so that, for once in our country's existence, we can boast that we have electricity. In fact, when your meter spoil, you can just call LEC right in the community, and they will come and address your problem, because that is the fundamental issue we've had over the time, and we cannot keep complaining without finding solution. Let's go down to the phone lines on 0555 105 100, 0777 105 100. We've just spoke about the issue of drugs. We've also spoken about we've confirmed now that the president actually told Reginald Gorich that he burned down his house. He stole his car. That has been confirmed about the presidential press secretary. We now know that the president actually said that to him. Those are our talking points this morning on the program. Like I said, at 9 o'clock, we play host to Maryland County, former Maryland County Senator John Ballot. He has been making media rounds across Monrovia on his quest to ensure that there is an opposition collaboration, specifically the Unity Party and ANC, because he believes that is the only ticket that can defeat President George Weah. Let's go to the lines. Good morning. I'm doing good.
Yeah, you are talking about the drugs law. I just want to inform you that it was your research. The book content concur to pass the drugs law almost 3 or 4 months ago. The president is hold on. The past law was sent to the president's office to explain the senator to submit the law or law. Also now, the president has failed to explain the law.
Okay.
Before they pass the law,
okay. I must now get in contact with my legislative reporter Jackson Clay to confirm that, but I know it has been a hanging thing. It has been a hanging thing. Let me get in contact with Jackson Clay, but keep your calls coming to 0777 105 100, 0555 105 100. Are the numbers to call right now. I remember that drug law went into the Senate committee room for deliberation, because there was a part of the drug law that the Senate did not concur with the House of Representatives, and so they decided that there was a need for them to look at a portion of the drug law which talks about the penalties for those who are importing and those who are using. There should be changes there, but let me take this call while I get in contact with Jackson Clay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Saydee.
Good morning, my brother.
My name is Boma William, and I join you from District 13. You see, let me say thank you for your two talking points this morning. The issue of drugs in this country, my brother, when you enter in a community or when you live in our various communities, you will find out that those guys every day they are recruiting. Every day they got new members that will join them. Those guys, almost majority of the young boys now this day we are sporting, my brother. If I see those guys like our brothers that we all will grow up together, seeing them doing those things. Sometimes when you advise them, you call them, you talk to them, people will say, oh, bro, I will leave here, I will change, I will this, I will that. But every day, they may got new friends that joining there. I don't know. We have to see how best to continue those the issue of joining this country. Or else, few years to come, to find typical good Liberian man or boy, it will be very hard. It will be very hard. And to the issue of the how to call it in this country. You see, sometimes too, the issue of power theft, I will blame the government for the issue of power theft. In a sense, there is a suitable community. We all in this community we need current. But they brought only one transformer and they put it on the main road there. The mountain street light on it, and then majority on the main road they have current. And we who are inside the village, we need a current now. We don't have current like connection on the pole. Only few people connect on the road there. So what will happen to those who like we who are on the current now and we don't have the means like connection? What will happen? We will go to those who are connected on the road there to get current for them. But if the government was going to leave the community just like that, bring transformer, place it in the community that can serve the entire community, run the line, we all can go buy our meter and then do our connection. You see that? But we need a current and then when a few people in their connection, like on the mirror there, and we are in the community now.
Okay.
We are in darkness.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Let's take another person here. We get in contact with Jackson Clay shortly, but let's take this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
My name is James Kang. I'm calling from Capital of our resident. Concerning the issue of the drugs, I think the DEA, they are not working. They are not doing the job thoroughly because they know where are the ghettos and where you can get the suspect. They know it, but they can go there, some of them take bribe and they just walk away. So they are the problem. And the drugs actually is killing most of our young brothers. So I think the president and our legislature need to come down high on and that's agency to see how best and they can make them to do the job that they were called to do. Secondly, I respect to the LEC. My brother, LEC is killing the people in the country slowly too. LEC is stealing my Laban people.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you buy $5 current, they will give 8 kilowatt, which is killing for 1 week. I mean, how many people in the country under this president that is carrying that suffer? People buying kilowatts, 8 kilowatt, I can carry for 1 week for $5. 6 kilowatt for $5. That is total stealing.
Okay. All right, my brother.
It's available so we can be able to get it and buy it and enjoy it.
All right.
Then they will prefer buying the car in the city, but let it make it available and affordable for us.
Okay, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Another person here. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. C. And good morning to Sis Dennise. David Harris now called from Benson Street this morning.
Yep.
Fidel, on the issue of the drugs, I think before you kill the snake down, cut his head. Those smugglers, those traffickers, I think the drugs law, they will have to sign it. They will have to sign it with harsh punishment. At least when you slap someone that's smoking the drugs with 20 years imprisonment, freeze their property when they are caught with it. I think some serious measure will be ahead in the country. But if you decide to tackle those guys that are taking those drugs with other people, my brother, you won't be going anywhere. Those that are smoking the drugs, those traffickers, slap them with 30 years imprisonment, freeze all their assets when they are caught with it. I think they will be going somewhere. On the issue of the LEC, Fidel, the meter, when they installed the meter the first time, I bought my credit. The first time, I bought $10, I got 44 kilowatts. The second time, I bought my $10 because the $10 I was every
it can finish after every 1 month, 1 week. Because when I'm going on to my business, I cut everything off. The next time I bought it, I got 34 kilowatts. It get reduced. I don't know. I really know what happened. Get reduced. Yeah, really. So I think you have to call someone instituted to really ask them how they go about it. Then they go current issue, the unit issue. And lastly, Fidel, LEC encouraging the issue of power tech. The reason is very simple. If you people decide to connect everybody to meet on and get people to see to really observe when you are caught bypassing the COVID, be arrested and be sent to prison and start with heavy fine or penalty. Thank you this morning, my brother, for your platform.
Thank you so much, my brother. Keep listening. My partner has just joined me. Good morning, Dennise. She laughed.
Good morning, Fidel, and good morning to everyone.
How was your night?
Yeah, okay. And sometimes unforeseen circumstances, but we are here this morning.
Exactly. We are here this morning, and once one person is here, the entire team is here.
Sure.
Okay, but there's this guy who was heading the power theft team in at LEC. I remember some time ago. One Patrick.
Okay.
Look, Patrick, I think Kulabanda or something of that. Look, that buck cut off major businesses in this country because of power theft. He was very ruthless in his action. Sure. He did not care whether you big man or. I remember at one point in time, then I was on the other side, the other station, and all of me other side. So I went with the team. Look, the man cut off major hotels in Liberia, major supermarkets. That's how Patrick was ruthless in this whole power theft thing. I don't know whether he's still at the power theft era there at LEC. If he's not, then maybe that one of the reasons why LEC need to call him back. Look, it is say Barman Shanga, that kind of Barman Shanga. You not care whether that no. He did not care. Look, he cut off people, and at a certain point in time, when the LEC did her calculation, the money they were even getting back from those people who had stolen current for a period of time, they were getting more money. So normally power theft get money. Let me let you know now. Power theft get money. You go to some community or some business place, you see them been using the current for a long time. Maybe they get bill of something like $10,000. They say, "My man, we not get 10,000. We get you 2,000." And you close the whole thing. Or people can make such compromises,
sure.
And at the end of the day, it's against the interest of the country. But this is a guy. Sometimes I used to wonder what kind of man is so, and like a young guy, relatively young guy, who should be looking for a mile like that.
And he's there serving.
And he's there serving with that diligence.
Yes.
So I hope Patrick is there. I need to do my investigation whether Patrick is there. If Patrick is there, then I think
perhaps the system they didn't favor him because he was so straight. People don't like people being straight.
How it can be sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. You're right, Dennise.
Yes.
Sometimes that's how it is.
Yeah.
So maybe Patrick will put that because some people felt that you were targeting him. But you need someone who's robust, who knows how to push, who knows how to move to discourage power theft. But at the same time, the LEC has to do what she has to do, in order to ensure that.
And I tell you
something,
Fidel. On yesterday, I was heading home during the night. I was like, oh, the community no current, so the bike boy that was carrying me, and then he said, oh, yeah, they're current business. I don't know how the people doing the current business, the meter, and when we put our money in it don't even stay long. So LEC will be responsible for the power theft and that. So I said, no. That's not the way. People should learn how to pay their bills. Myself, I'm using that meter, and I also buy current in my community. We use that. So if there's a problem, people should work on it. There is no need for people to be stealing current because they feel that the meter is running faster according to them. When you put the money on a card, it can go fast. Yeah. So they don't know how is it going like. So yeah. So you have people who come in and Fidel for sure. I've seen heard people saying that the meter is running faster or it's going faster. Let me call the LEC people, and you have those same people who say they are working with LEC, going in communities and saying they are bypassing the meter. They are bypassing the meter because why? It is running the money going faster. All of these, Fidel, are the community, the citizens, as well as those who are working with LEC, they have a part to play in all of this that we are talking about. And the issue of system. So the people in the community, or those some citizens, they don't want to be, lawyer. They don't want to be patriotic. They see a means of defrauding the system. So they want to bypass the meter because they don't want to pay plenty money and they don't want to get meter to pay bills. And the LEC themselves, their inability to ensure that communities, people who have put in for meters long ago, cannot get their meters. Those people, do you think that when someone on the other side, it's not everyone that, can withstand things to say, oh, because the other people got meter and I don't have the meter, LEC is wasting time. So I will go buy my gas and use generator. I will be like that. No, somebody will come to them and tell them I can connect you on the side. And the person will get connected.
Exactly.
Other people get connected to the line illegally. So that becomes power theft. So they start to steal the current because LEC is not doing the rightful thing as well. People call for meter, they cannot get the meter.
Exactly.
So those people too, by not being patriotic, and some people are not sincere, so they will go and start involved in the power theft. And those who are working with them, there are people who work there. Some people there, they are involved in the whole power theft issue. It is not the people in the community that are going to connect.
Of course not.
Are the same people that are working there, they are the ones that are doing it. So the need for the system to work and for the citizen, and someone wrote something this morning that the change should begin with you and myself. So those, we are Liberians, we should learn to apply these rules. Oh, I don't have current, I shouldn't steal current. In as much that the people are not stealing the current or the electricity, the LEC themselves should do what is needful. So if we all work together, we can avoid this, power theft. And like you said, those who are working there, they see that perhaps this business can pay me good money when I go around. Or maybe the people used to pay like something like $150 a month to LEC. But if I go and do power theft, I bypass their wire or their meter line, they will give me $75. So instead of paying the $150 to LEC, which is direct, which is revenue generation, they will take it and take that $75, go and collect the money and do illegal connection. So LEC need to do their best. The need for them to work to ensure those who are in the field, who are going around in terms of power theft, let them be straight about it. There's no need you go, people give you money, you connect them illegally, and you come and the system is there lacking. And the last time we heard a message from the US embassy that talked about power theft. It's been strangulating the LEC. They are not generating income because of that. And they themselves are not being robust in terms of doing their work.
Exactly. They've not been robust in doing their work, and that is what the real issue that is impeding the progress of a Liberia Electricity Corporation. Like I said, there should be centers set up in different communities. I mean, where people have issues, they can go right there, and those issues are addressed immediately, so that people do not find these loopholes. When there's an existence of a loophole, that loophole is normally exploited by people, and so that is what these people are exploiting to get involved in power theft. So the LEC has to be robust. I mean, nobody can stand that. But let's get to Jackson Clay. We need to find out what is the status of the drug law now. Someone indicated on the program that it has been passed by the Senate and the House of Representatives and is before the president. But it is our responsibility to confirm from our judicial report, our legislative reporter, Jackson Clay, what exactly is the status of the drug law. Good morning, Jackson. It's great having you on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Fidel, and good morning, Dennise,
good morning.
and our many listeners.
Straightly to the point, what is the status of the drug law?
So the status of the drug law, like I said the last time on the radio, the drug law is still at the level of the Liberian Senate. And the reason why it is still there is that the senators are still deciding on the punishment. So that is to categorize the amount of punishment to be given to who. So Jackson is an importer and a dealer and a custodian. So Jackson gets a bigger punishment than those who use the drug, who we call the drug victim, or the guys in the street we refer to as Zogos. So Jackson, who imports the drugs, his crime will be non-billable. And if Jackson brings the drugs in and somebody else is keeping it, or Dennise is keeping it. Dennise too, who is the custodian of it, her crime will be non-billable. But those who use the drug, who they refer to as the victim of the drugs, that's the part to say it will be billable, because according to them, those people are victim of it. They are the end users of that product. So they should get a lesser punishment as compared to those who bringing the drugs into the country and who's dealing it.
Okay.
That's how far it is.
All
yes.
right. So we can now confirm that the drug law is not on the desk of the president, because there has not been any conclusion from this side of the Senate in concurring with the House. Yeah.
Not yet, because there are two versions. The Senate passed another version. The Senate has another version, and there's another version at the House of Representatives that was sent to them. So those two versions have to be harmonized before it can be sent to the House. To the library. To the president for proper passage.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jackson. Great having you.
Welcome.
All right. So that's it. That there must be a synchronization of both instruments to set it to one instrument before it is sent to the president. So as it is right now, the legislature has the House of Representatives has her version, and the Liberian Senate has her version as well. So they can sit in a conference committee and synchronize the content of both of instruments to make it one. It has not yet been sent to the president.
Sure.
So there is a need for the Senate to fast track this process. I'm not saying fast track because I don't want you to dot your I's and cross your T's, but dotting your I's and crossing your T's must be done in a more speedy manner, so as to ensure that this becomes a law and that individuals who are involved in the importation of drugs are punished. And I do agree with that change that the Senate wants to make. These individuals who are consuming the drugs are victims.
Yeah.
So you cannot treat them as much as you treat those who are
importing
or selling the drugs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very important. 0555-105-100, 0777-105-100. At 9 o'clock, we take our break. When we come back, we play host to former Maryland County Senator Ambassador John Balut. He'll be our guest on the program this morning. There are lots of things to talk about. And so let's hear you on the program this morning. Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of things to talk, but we got plenty of things to ask as well. So he will be here this morning. All right. So the issue of addressing power theft, like we said, we need people who are willing to do that. We're in the midst of that. Without those people, the Liberia Electricity Corporation cannot function properly.
Sure.
We also need them to set up satellite stations across the country, specifically Monrovia and its environs.
Yeah.
Pinsville, in the different communities. For example, I live in Kawa, New Jersey. We have a station here for everyone who's dealing in Kawa. I mean, something like that. Good morning. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you, my brother.
But then it will be the other way around. Those importers will move those guys to be the seller. And for example, I'm a drug smoker, but drug dealer will give me the drugs to sell for him. And at the end of the day, if I be arrested, I'll be like, and the drug.
Okay. Not me. I think he went off some kind of way. Apparently, I don't know. But yes, that's it right there. Yeah, but keep your calls coming. 0555-105-100, 0555-105-100, 0777-105-100.
Yeah.
All right. Those are the numbers to call. So I don't know whether you were following the program this morning. You know, we had a little conversation about the Rainbow Alliance political leader's statement against the president, that the president said he was he stole his car, he burned his house, and so we're trying to get confirmation from Asolo Kekwe. And so we read a publication on Front Page Africa this morning that he has confirmed that the president actually said that, but this is something that the president has said repeatedly to him, and it has always been in a form of joke.
Yeah.
But he has decided to elevate the matter because we are around the political season, according to Solo Kekwe.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to the phone line 0777105 555 other numbers to call this morning on the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Fidel, Saydee, and my partner Dennise Nimpson. We're riding together this morning on the program as we usually do. So keep your calls coming to those numbers. So the another issue we spoke about this morning, Dennise, is this president thing. But you know, because we're not sure about what was happening, then whether that was true or that was lie, we could not specifically deal with some of the opinions we wanted to make on the issue. But I was able to deal with it this morning that the repeated reminder of Reginald Gorish of his action by the president, in my mind, is not a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, if we are engendering reconciliation as opposed to the establishment of a war crimes court, it means we have to do that in all of our actions. We say, you know what, Dennise, let bygone be bygone, let's move ahead. So whether in a joking manner or not, people should not be reminded of their actions. There are sometimes people are crying for war and economic crimes code, and I do agree with that. By the way, I think people should pay for their actions, what they've done to this country. People should pay. But if people who are responsible for ensuring that the war and economic crimes code is established are not doing that and just throwing jabs, then it means their words are not well intentioned. Because if you are well intentioned, you will ensure that the code is established and that those who committed some of the heinous crimes in our country will make to account for their actions. In the absence of that, no one has right to look into the face of a person to say, oh, you did this or you did that, especially when you have the command in ensuring that that court is established.
Sure.
All right, then this is on a show matter this morning.
No, Fidel, you said it. I'm just it's not that I'm on a show matter, but you know, when we talk about the issue of this Reginald Gorish issue involving the president, and it was the same thing that I said in terms of the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, right? We talk about that, and the issue about reconciliation, Fidel, it is difficult. Let me be friend with you. You know what it means for someone to do bad to you, right? And you look into the face of the person and say, I forgive you, like that. It is kind of difficult deep down, right?
So time does heal.
Yeah, so it actually takes someone who, I don't know, is really to forgive, especially when it comes to certain crimes that is very difficult. So that's why people over the time has been calling for this crimes court, because when it is established, it brings about relief to people who have been affected by doings or some people during the Civil War. That's why people are calling for the War and Economic Crimes Court, that it should be established to have those people penalized for what they have done, the atrocity or whatsoever thing that they have, committed in the past. Because people feel relaxed. Sometimes people will tell you, yes, because because of peace, we say that bygone be bygone. But not everyone saying that from their inner self, let bygone be bygone. Sometimes people walk in the street, people seeing people today taking state power who did see, harm to their family members during the Civil War. It pains them a lot. And there are others, there are friends, there are people we know. Sometimes they talk of Fidel, they talk how their family member was brutalized, how they were killed during the war. And they remember that, they get reminded when they see that, or they see that person, or they see those people you passing around in the society, going scot-free. So they feel a pain that it is not a difficult thing to say yes. It is a difficult thing, to say yes, I forgive you. So it goes back to the president. The president, deep down in himself, the issue of reconciliation, he knows there are certain things that it is difficult to forgive. So the only way you can feel relaxed is when that person is being, penalized for what they did. So we listened to the president the last time when they talk about the issue of the war crimes code. He said, oh, everyone related somehow. People related. So when you heard John will heard Peter, Peter will heard this. Like, why the people can say you heard Bush, whatsoever will hold you, hold robe will hold this other one. But it's not about that. It is about people accounting for what they did in the society. So people believe that I can do anything and go scot-free. And that shouldn't be the case. So this goes to the president. He has much that he can remind Gurich of what he did and what he think that Gurich did. This is how others, other citizens are feeling on a daily basis. That this man did this to my father. This man did this to my mother. This man did this to my sister. So it is a must that this man be brought to justice. He face the law and go through the punishment for what he did. So, Mr. President, it speaks to the fact that the War and Economics Crime Court needs to be established. Though he's leaving now, or his 6 years, has almost expired, but perhaps he may come back for second term. We don't know yet. But if he comes back, the need to ensure that that court is established is a must. Because if he has that court, at this time, he will be telling Reginald Gurich or saying, reminding him and be taking it out of joke. That man will be facing the punishment for that.
Exactly.
To be facing the punishment. So it speaks to the issue of reconciliation. You as a leader, if you can come up and be telling someone, say, oh, no, they can forgive, or they make him forgive, and
think about ordinary citizens.
Yes, think about ordinary citizens, how they feel. So I know we are running out of time, and we have to, take our break to bring our guests
on the
in.
issue of reconciliation, Dennise. This is the most hurting part about this whole reconciliation thing. 15 years ago, or during the course of the Liberian civil conflict, Mr. Wah had his father. He was a kid then. A father was responsible for taking care of him, sending him to school, and what have you. Mr. Wah's father was killed during the Civil War. Fast forward to now. Mr. Wah does not have a good life because his father is no longer alive and cannot take care of him. And could not complete his secondary education and could not get any vocational education because he does not have any support. Fast forward to now. The man who killed Mr. Wah's father is a representative or a senator. He is enjoying the taxes that Mr. Wah pays. What comes to Mr. Wah's mind whenever he sees that person? It is a reminder of his condition that he's currently in, that this guy is responsible for what is happening to me. Yet he's living at the expense of my tax dollars. How do you engender reconciliation between Mr. Wah and that man? Now that Mr. Wah is in this state because of the action of this man.
And
so
he's enjoying.
It is a difficult thing to do. It is normally said on the surface that, hey, let's reconcile the country and let's move forward. And I guess it is difficult because the president has indicated how difficult it is through his constant reminder of Goodrich of what he did in the past. So it is the same thing that Liberians are crying. They do not have the energy to be reminding people of their action and what they did to their families and relatives. That is why they are yearning for the War in Economic Crimes Court. But Mr. President has not given that to them. So it is important that Mr. President desist from reminding people of what they did in the past.
Because if everyone start to remind people,
we have
imagine what the country. Exactly.
We have a chaotic state. Let's go for our break right now,
we
Dennise.
are war laws and criminals with state power. It's too bad.
That is the situation we have at hand. And this problem cannot be solved with people, oh, let bygone be bygone, bygone be bygone. I suffering Nana because you came apart, during the war. But you say bygone be bygone. Why am the man who came apart enjoying bad way? Now bygone be bygone there. Let's go for
so though we are preaching peace, we'll always talk about peace, but peace is not peace in the absence of those little things that should be taken care of. So let us engender peace, but in engendering peace, we should talk about those things that matters.
Exactly. Reconciliation. There's no good peace with no reconciliation. Dennise, let's go for our break. Our guest is already here. And let's go for our break and be right back. Bokonjide Group of Companies, a 100% Liberian-owned company with over 20 years of experience, is the name that stands tall in the microfinance, construction, and general services industries. At Bokonjide Group of Companies, we pride on character, integrity, honesty, confidentiality, and creditworthiness. Approved institutions or entities under the microfinance service include House of Representatives, Liberian Senate, General Services Agency, Financial Intelligence Unit, and General Auditing Commission. Others include Governance Commission, Cooperative Development Agency, Ministry of Gender, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, National Port Authority, Group of 77, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our construction services include the construction of residential and commercial buildings, while the general services include apartment renter, apartment for lease, furnished apartments for short stay, general printing services, and a yard with swimming pool to host events. Bokonjide Group of Companies is located on Capitol Hill in Monrovia. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603, or better still 086-622-559, or email us at bokonjidegroup-of-companies@gmail.com. Bokonjide Group of Companies. Nunde.
Wanna see all my people progress.
Gifty, where did you get the bricks you used to build your house? See how strong the bricks look.
I got them from Rovia Bricks. Do not tell me you have not heard about Rovia Bricks.
You mean they are located in Liberia?
Yes, Angie. Rovia Bricks is a division of Rovia Logistics Incorporated, and they offer a variety of concrete products for all your construction needs. They have 6, 7, 8, and 4 inches blocks. That's not all.
Tell me more.
Rovia Bricks have coverts for rows and well, cornerstones, Colombo blocks, yard tiles, sand, be it smooth, rough, and mixed. They even have red dyes for land filling and crushed rocks of all sizes.
How can I get to them?
You can locate Rovia Bricks right at the corner of McDonough and Kerry Streets on the Kakata Highway, Copper Farm area in Fidel, around the University of Liberia campus, or locate our head office on Randall Street. Call Rovia Bricks on 0777-874-231 or 0888-726-172. Email them on rovialib@gmail.com. Better still, WhatsApp them on 0777-874-231 or Facebook Rovia Logistics Incorporated.
I'm calling them right now for that man's swampy land. No time to waste.
Man, take it easy. Rovia, oh Rovia. Yes, Rovia Logistics is back. Have you been looking for a one-stop shop to rent and hire machineries of all types? Look no further. Rovia Logistics Incorporated is the answer. Rovia Logistics has wide range of machines like dump trucks to haul your sand, red dye, crushed rocks, and border rocks.
As for your construction needs, do not worry. Rovia Logistics have all sizes of yellow machines to meet your desire. They have machines like bulldozers, compactors, excavators, forest machines, backhoes, and many more.
The interesting part is you get to hire them hourly, daily, or monthly. And that's not all. They also rent pickups of all types like Toyota Tacoma, Nimpson Frontiers, Ford F-250, and they are equipped with all-wheel drive options for bad road conditions. Locate Rovia Logistics Incorporated right at the corner of McDonough and Kerry Streets on the Kakata Highway, Copper Farm area in Fidel, around the University of Liberia campus, or locate our head office on Randall Street.
Contact Rovia Logistics and cell numbers 0777-874-231 or 0888-726-172. You can also email them on rovialib@gmail.com.
Better still, WhatsApp Rovia Logistics on 0777-874-231 or message them on Facebook, Rovia Logistics Incorporated. Rush now for quality services at affordable prices.
Okay, welcome back to the program this morning. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And of course, as we earlier stated, we have in studio former Maryland County Senator John Baloo, and he's a staunch advocate of an opposition collaboration. And for some reason, he's been very specific on the ticket that he wants. And so, good morning, Senator, and welcome to ABC Radio.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the invitation. I think you have a very beautiful studio, a very sophisticated one, and I must commend you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. And how was it getting here?
Well, easy. This is probably one of the easiest, most accessible. I mean, some of those stations you have to go in
different corners.
You just park right in front of the studio and you're here. So
that's good.
That's good. And times like these, when you're talking serious political issues in our own context nowadays, safety and security all of that plays a part. So if you're here speaking at night or something, you don't want to be in a hole.
Oh yeah.
You saw what happened with Louis Brown the other time on but right on the Broad Street. But let's go ahead.
Okay. All right. So how has it been so far? Life after being in the Senate?
Well, life after the Senate has been wonderful for me.
Okay.
And it depends on what exactly you want, why you went into the Senate, why you involved yourself in politics. Because if that why is genuine, then it doesn't stop because you're no longer in the Senate. It continues because you're part of the society.
Okay.
And once you are driven by that passion to ensure that things move better because you are present, then of course there is no stopping you. There's every opportunity to work and move this country forward. Evidence to the fact that we are doing exactly that today in the studio, trying to caution our population and the way forward and bring sanity to the political debate.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so what have you been involved with? I mean, specifically.
Well, when I left the Senate, I worked in the executive branch. I was a member of the PPCC, a commissioner. I was a member of the board of Telco. And then I was appointed as ambassador. So I also... and then after this government, 2 years or so, a year or so into this, and then I was recalled. And I can understand that when people try to mix politics into the interest of the state, to the extent that it goes into the diplomatic field, which should be off limits to this. And I was recalled and I'm back home. And, I'm also a business person, so I have my businesses I run. We're glad that we have the opportunity to employ some Liberians and contribute to the economic growth of our country. And so with that, we also engage ourselves in a people-centered movement called We the People.
Okay.
And this is meant to highlight the challenges of society. The first action we took, beyond having these kind of shows and conscientizing the people why they must get involved to deal with the common threat. The first action we took was to lead appreciation march to the U.S. Embassy, thanking them for the sanctions on those government officials and calling for more sanctions on corrupt officials. And the reason for that is because at that time, there were a lot of other forces trying to counter the sanction, and they were even making song, sanction or no sanction, we vote for you. When you see a country reaching to that level and the conscious ones don't speak, then it becomes the outlook of the country that the Liberian people are bizarre people. They are celebrating corrupt people. They are fighting against institutions and governments that put their people who are corrupt on sanctions instead of supporting them. So that's why we led that march. And we call for more sanctions. Under the same breath, we ask for the government of the United States to increase the support, financial support, economic support to Liberia, because the people are suffering the brunt of bad governance out of the very same people that they've been sanctioning. And another major fight that we had, in fact, our most important fight in the country today, from the perspective of we the people, is the fight against the uncontrollable influx and proliferation of illicit drugs. This country has become a drug haven. This country has become a big ghetto. We had meetings with the stakeholders in this society, including the DEA and the statistics, and we found out that you got more than 1,000 ghettos in this country. And there's nothing done to stop it.
And this revelation is coming from the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency.
Of course.
And what are they doing? What have you found out?
We found out that there's nothing being done. You have such a critical challenge to your stability and the well-being of the young people, and the government cut the budget of the DEA for the past 2 years. They've been cutting it instead of increasing it. The DEA budget was around 400,000. Can you imagine what a joke it is?
Which, by the way, is insignificant.
Of course.
Considering the work they have to do.
Of course. You gave people less than $2 million, I mean, you're not serious about fighting drugs. When you say it's a national priority, then you consider it a threat, existential threat to the young people, the people you claim to represent, to lead, the people you claim to be the future leaders. And so when all the noise we made, what did you hear from the president in the last State of the Nation address about these drugs? Nothing.
Why do you think it's like that?
But I'm saying people are comfortable with it. You know?
You think so?
If you're not comfortable with it, what will you do? You do something about it. So I'm going to ask you, if you're not doing something about it, if you're cutting the people budget, now when we raise the issue of just 400,000, I think the legislature added 100,000 on it. You understand? Still largely insufficient and insignificant. You cut the DEA people's salaries. Those people, when we were in office, when we established and when we funded them, we took their salaries to minimum $150. And I say minimum. That means there are other people with 300, 400, 500, 600, 1,000, all of that. But you cut their salaries to $75, some of them $68. What kind of fight are they going to have? What kind of, are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of serious fight are you going to have? What's the commitment? Not just to the young people, but to the state. And so the DA found out that they don't even have vehicles. They don't even have motorbikes. Half of the workforce of the DA are volunteers. These kids with the ID card, CDC ID card, say, oh, go work. And they're all over the country facilitating the trade.
And these are grave allegations that those who work with the DEA are volunteers.
Of course. More than 50%.
Why is it so?
You tell me. This is the mystery that continue to baffle all of us. Why would you be in charge of the country's resources, the people's money, and you ignore it? Every part of this country, people are exposed to drugs. You hear for the first time, you hear the kind of huge consignment drugs coming into the country. I wonder sometimes if you had not been for the Americans here, would you have ever noticed anybody talk about it?
What do you
You
sense?
pass the drug law in the House, it goes to the Senate, and I was one of those who congratulated them. They go to the Senate, they pass another version, and it stops there. Another political ploy, another strategy to drag feet on it. Why? Whose side you on in this thing? The drug dealers or the citizens? Why should it be a third or fourth or fifth or 15 or 58 item on your development agenda, on your priority agenda? Why? Why will it make you put this thing on the last on the back burner when you have the mothers in this country crying every day for their children? When you have very prominent citizens, children being exposed and being destroyed. I heard just the other night, just yesterday or so, that the woman from somewhere was out there protesting against this drug. What is that? What you want? People must be able to protest every time to speak truth to you. So we the people, by the way, is planning a serious march against these drugs. And now we said it to them. We've been talking about this 2 years ago. We say you still have 2 years to do something about it. If you don't do anything about it, come election time, don't come tell the Liberian people who will get rid of drugs, because you've been there. We've been telling you more than 2 years ago to do something about drugs, 3 years ago. And we've been warning you that we're going to make this a political issue. You took it for a joke. Believe me, we will make it a political issue.
What is responsible for this conspicuous silence of the executive, and then the indulgence of the Senate, considering that they've not passed the drug law yet.
But not just the Senate.
Mhm.
Don't. I know the game. I was there.
Mhm.
People will pass one version, will pass another version, and then there's another detail.
Okay.
Strategy of delay.
In whose interest?
That's the priority question. That's the number one question. Like I said, whose side are they on? Whose side is the president on? Whose side is the government on? Whose side is the CDC on? Whose side is the legislature on? Because the entire legislature is a CDC legislature. You understand me?
You have unity partisans.
No.
Mm.
Let's talk seriously here.
Okay.
The speaker is from CDC.
Mhm.
The deputy speaker is from CDC.
Mhm.
The pro tem is from CDC. You understand me?
Mhm.
The president of the Senate is from the CDC. The president of the Republic is CDC. You got no excuse. There is a purely homogeneous political outlook and outfit of the CDC. So you have no excuse. You have no one else to shift the blame on. You will have to face the consequences now because we warned you 3 years ago. We said, do something and take the political credit. Take the political dividend that you accrue from taking this kind of milestone progressive move. If you don't, you will take the blunt of our wrath. And that's what we promised, and that's what we will deliver.
And you think what you consider as delay in the legislature's desire to pass this law is as a result of some kind of external influence?
Well, let me tell you something.
Mhm.
Drug dealers, the whole drug trade, cocaine, illicit drug, is a highly lucrative industry. It's a lot of money at play. There was a DA officer that even accused a member of the legislature
Mhm.
that impeded her work at a checkpoint because he was transporting drugs. Are you understanding me?
Mhm.
Was that raised to the point of finality? Was that brought to any logical conclusion? There was an indictment on the legislature. They shielded this person. Did they finalize this? This lady was brought in front of the house and she was intimidated. So much so she almost fell off and she had to claim to be sick and she excused. That's for another time. Where is this case? Where's the seriousness attached to this? You understand that?
Mhm.
So it cannot be a place of untouchables. It has to be a place of honorables. And I've always said it, even when I was there. You don't become an honorable because you go into the legislature. That place is called the Honorable House, the Honorable Senate, because of the honor that we take there. That doesn't make us, it's not a bleaching industry that you go in there filthy and you become an angel. It is the honor that we take there that describes it as the Honorable House, the Honorable Legislature. So let's deal with the issue at hand. Enough said about this. The drug issue is what we do. That's some of the things we've been doing. And now, because I carry the dual capacity thing, I was really slowing down on the political side. But when we reach to a critical point where everything is at stake and the future of this country is in the balance. And if you have this story about the old man asking the little boy asking the old man the bird in the hand if it's alive or dead. You know that story, right? And the old man said, it depends on you, son. The life of that bird is in your hand. If you want it to be alive, you let it go. If you want it dead, you kill it. Don't try to play me a trick question. Today, the life and future of this country, in all of the disgraceful environment that we live in, everything is in the balance. We can either win this election, first round, transform this country, and give this country what it deserves in terms of good leadership, or we can let it die. And today, that's where we are. And because we're so close to the juncture of making a decision, some of us are compelled to brave the storm, speak truth to the issues, and try to make our case.
Okay, before we go into politics, you've been in the private sector, or you're in the private sector.
Yes.
Let's talk about the private sector a bit. How is it like there has been complaint about the issue of the economy strangulating Liberian businesses? Let's hear it.
Well, I can tell you something. The economy, from the perspective of what we do, largely depends on the stability of the country. Largely depends on the confidence people have in the society, in the country. the whole idea of economy is a free flow of cash from one person to another. That's what economy is. You get me? People release money when they are comfortable, when they're confident. You invest when you're sure that the country is okay. That's one aspect. Besides the free flow, that confidence that comes, which is lacking in many areas, there is also the requirements of being running an effective business. Some of us run the hospitality business and some other businesses. The main critical point in everything of that nature is energy. I heard you talking about LEC today. LEC is a complete failure. It's a complete failure. I have been the first person calling for the outright privatization of LEC. If you want your economy to boom, look at your energy supply. Let it be credible, reliable, you understand me? And affordable. And the best way to achieve all of that is to outsource this thing, you privatize. The government is not a good business person. And I'm not just saying this because it's this government. I said it when I was in my government of the Unity Party. When you have all these international partners coming together in millennium and blah, 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 to saying that they can help donors putting money. This is not a donor thing. It's business. Something that is for everybody is for nobody. You understand me?
Yeah.
When you have a business, an entity, privatizing LEC, spending the $150 million, the $250 million in revamping LEC, you know they're going to protect it. That's when you have these smart meters, and you have the sophistication. That's why you have the monitoring team. And that's what they're going to do. Look, Orange is in the same society. Orange is running. MTN is in the same society. They are running because they're privatized. Firestone is in the same society. They are running because they're privatized. Your radio station in the same society. You are running because you're privatized. When you are privatized, you have vested interests. The stakeholders, the shareholders, the people who invested their money, it's at stake. They have to protect it. So in government, there are a lot of people who want to keep LEC the way it is. And I was so disappointed at some point, all these ambassadors coming together and telling Liberians we are rogues here, we are thieves, we steal from our LEC, we not break. I had a chance to speak to some of them, and I told them, don't ever do that again. You have an arrangement that is designed to fail. You have a bunch of incompetent people managing the system. You have a system that thrives on underground dealings.
Why do you think it's like that?
Where the people lack vision, my dear brothers and sisters, people perish. And it's all about that. You as government, you don't handle this thing, you don't know. Outsource it and privatize LEC, privatize water and sewer, privatize the MPA, privatize the RIA, privatize the TEPCO, privatize all of these entities. Let these people infuse huge initial capital, hard currency. Let them start to reconstruct this industry. Let them start to employ. You'll be a big boost in employment. And when these things are happening, government hands are off. The people pay to government their share, their dividends. Government can take this money and redistribute it to the people in terms of public and social services. You get me? And focus on the issues that matter. Government is not a good business person. What is the requirement for so many people to hold this government base that is meant to generate revenue because they have a degree in this and that? The private sector doesn't work that way. You have a degree, commensurate experience, tested and proven capability and ability to deliver. You understand?
You think it's lacking?
But of course. Of course. Government. Look, we were talking about the RIA the other day, right? Where we've been failing to deliver and maintain that place. Who was the best bet of the president to come through there? A mechanic? Who came and lied to the legislature that he did and that they had to expose him? Is that the only instance that we have to refer to?
From all indications through your deliberation, you seem to.
You think if it was a private entity, they will bring somebody like that to go handle it after they spend $100 million to invest? Go ahead.
Like I was saying, from all your deliberations, it appears to me like you pointing accusing fingers at the president because he has the power to appoint all of these officials.
Absolutely. I mean, There's no reason to mince our words on this. The president is the first responsible for anything that goes on in this country. He is the most responsible for the high proliferation of drugs in this country. He's the one most responsible for the children being abused and used as zogo. Then they're carrying food to them now for them to start with like Europe pay for election purposes.
Why will you say that?
He's the president. If you don't like it, change it. He's the first responsible for reducing the people's salaries for the minimum 150 that we left it to $75. He's the one responsible that the people are demonstrating now today in every part of the government. Whether it's information ministry, whether it's transport ministry, whether it's labor ministry, whether it's lands and mines, he's the one responsible all over the country. You're the one responsible that Lone Star cannot even qualify to go anywhere. You're the one responsible that the banks are closing, that the economies in certain sectors are declining. You're the one responsible. You're the one responsible that people are not safe in the country anymore. That there are too many unexplained deaths. You're the one responsible.
Well, I think we'll find another time to.
And if you differ, if you disagree with me, then you tell me why he's not the one responsible.
We'll find a
and
time
people
to
listen. And people keep saying, "Oh, the president is doing it better." The president is not doing his best, because if he's doing his best, the person that causing the problem, he'll move them. You keep the same people. He's the one responsible that you can't even investigate. Your government officials have been brought to international stay by sanction from the United States. Corruption. What are they doing? And they're running now. And they're campaigning for the president. And he thinks those people are joke. He thinks the Liberian people are a joke. He's the one responsible. He's the one responsible when the country is suffering and you're making songs every day and dancing. So let's go ahead.
Okay. So you have been leading, a quest that seems to be so impossible from the opposition bloc. So firstly, how do you see opposition unity?
Well, from the outlook, from where we are right now, it is quite discouraging. With all of these things that we just explained, the country is at a crossroad, critical crossroad, whether we move forward or we move backward. Liberia has been on a nearly 6 years recess from development. Okay? Nearly 6 years. And some people say, oh, how can you say that? Look at everything that this government is boasting of, the things that we left undone, that we left in the pipeline. All the roads are roads that we started, that we signed documents on. All these things, everything that you claim to dedicate, that thing, whether it's the RIA, whether it's the ministerial complex, whether it's the roads all over, even the roads in the south, everything. We're the one. So nothing that you can claim to generate all your own ingenuity and vision for this country. So when we are such a critical crossroad, and everything is on the balance because of this opposition. Today, the opposition has everything in their favor now to win this election. I say to you, this government doesn't enjoy more than 30% of the population popular vote in this country today.
Why so reliance?
Midterm sanitary elections, the last midterm elections we had, the last test. Okay? 15 senatorial seats, CDC won only 3. Overwhelmingly swept by the opposition, the united opposition. When you have that formula that have been tested and proven, not only to be effective, but winnable, and then you start to play with it, why? Why would somebody do that? Why would you allow such a strong movement of the people that energize the people, that inspire the people to get up their feet, from their seat and stand up and do something about the future? Why would you dash their hopes the way they've been going? So some of us kept quiet and gave them a chance to sort it out. Throughout the process, they had a lot of other ways of sorting this out. All of those options have failed. Then we started to see the in-house fighting, and we started to speak to it, and we condemned it. Starting from the Cummings going to court, from the Unity Party leaving the CPP, all of these things we spoke against it. Then we had our rounds of discussions with all of the political leaders, and they're now making grounds. so that we took the debate to the public space, so that all of us can take possession of this and play our part from the outside and from the inner circle of these political leaders. And when it's not taking this and it's not gaining the kind of grounds that we want, that's why we're elevating now the debate to another level.
What kind
Thursday,
of
April 13, 10 a.m., we're gathering outside the Unity Party office in our number. We're mobilizing the citizens. And we're going to Ambassador Boakai at the Unity Party office to present a petition asking him and Alexander Cummings to form a ticket. We're going to march over to Mr. Cummings' CPP office. We could present another petition asking him to go as vice to Mr. Boakai, Ambassador Boakai. This is the one and only indispensable, unique ticket that can do the job.
No, what kind of conversation were you having with these political leaders in these one-on-one meetings?
Very respectful, appealing, convincing, intellectual exchanges. And everything went as we planned. The conversations, the debate, the discussions have been going on respectfully, except that we're not getting the desired results commensurate with what the efforts we've been applying. So like I said, we are not fighting them. We are not trying to embarrass them. We are only protecting our interests as a citizen of this country. We're tired of the country going the direction it's going. We're tired of having irresponsible people leading this country. We're tired of having irresponsible people making all of these utterances, intimidating the population. We've come so far. This is a very important country in Africa. We cannot allow that. We too deserve to grow. These young children deserve a better future. So we are only doing what is necessary for us. And as a political leaders in the political process, in the political exercise that depend on the people for the political support, they're under obligation also to listen to us.
Ambassador Ballo, the both parties are already resolved in terms of moving forward. There have been names in terms of running mate to the former vice president. What do you make of those names that have come up, and instead of you coming up with the Cummings situation?
Well, to begin with, I don't like to go into the discussions of those names because I know some of them and I respect them. And I think they're quite very important people, very good people, very well-meaning people, patriotic Liberians with integrity. I don't want to take anything from them. But I try to describe this ticket as a unique, indispensable ticket, meaning no other ticket will do the job. And why? Why? Any of those names that you mentioned today, if Ambassador Boakai should take them, they do not unite the opposition bloc. The secret to winning this election is the unity of the opposition. Only ticket now, we have two opposition blocks now in this country. The Unity Party-led opposition bloc, and as the Alexander Cummings-led opposition bloc with the CPP.
What make you convinced that?
Do you know of any major two?
There's the Liberty Party.
But I'm saying the Liberty Party is part of these two blocks. Half of the Liberty Party is with Yombly, and that's the Joseph Yuma Boakai-led opposition bloc. I'm using specific English here. I'm not saying Joseph Yuma Boakai. I said Joseph Yuma Boakai-led opposition bloc, and Alexander Cummings-led opposition bloc. So all these strong political parties are either with Cummings right now or with Boakai. Okay? And this is the serious matter. Because if they go divided, they will lose. We will lose. If they go united, as they did in the midterm elections, they will sweep the entire elections. They will win the first round presidential election. First round.
What make you sure about that?
I just explained to you. When you go for a midterm election and CDC wins only 3 for the senatorial seat, I'm not talking representative. It's an overall indictment.
That's what senatorial. That's not presidential.
But I'm trying to explain to you. Senatorial is the overall average of your popularity.
In 2017,
you were here campaigning. You lost right here where all of you are, including the president, CDC twice. You understanding me? We're talking about empirical evidence. We're not just talking out of the blue sky. And I can see you now, you're understanding me.
No, I'm listening.
So that's
to you.
no, I can see that. So it's good that you understand this. Okay, we're speaking empirical evidence. So the president knows that. He knows that. And so they were doing all the things we want to do. Let's come back to the subject matter. So if you don't unite the opposition, then you have a problem. Because I say to you, you go divided with this election, you will lose the entire legislature. The CPP will not win any seat. I'm saying this thing, I'm very blunt, because I don't want anybody to say, had we known. You understand? Now you know. If you go that path, it is a conscious decision you're making, plunging the country into another decadence. So I'm just saying to you clearly, if we go divided, we'll lose. And why will we lose? You have this CDC with all their problems, still trying to keep that kind of a unity, despite the plus or minuses. You know, the NPP is in chaos, the LPDP is in chaos. You know, the PYJ factor have left them and all of that. They are managing that because they know they're in trouble. But they're going to field one candidate. Now, go in any district, for example, let's just take a district or a senatorial election. The opposition that enjoys 65% popular vote, you go and divide it by Cummings and Boaka, who will be now trading against each other, while you got George Weah CDC to fight. Then in the midst of that political confusion in the opposition bloc, you're going to have a proliferation of parties now, 2, 3, 4 parties now, and feeding candidates as well. And most of their political votes now are driven by travel, alliances, religious alliances, and things like that. So you're going to reduce that your 65 to maybe 15%, 20% of each of these people, or even 25%, or even 30%, but it will not reach the 35% of the CDC. So they will win.
Okay.
Now, if you don't unite the opposition and you go for the runoff, like some people say, oh, let's go separate ways, we'll meet at the runoff, we'll support the other, you would have lost the entire legislature. Just know that. And when you go for the runoff, there's an assumption that we're all going to follow you because we are together. No, we're not together. If we're together, we'll be together now. You were not together. You were not kind to each other. You were throwing insults, you were throwing attacks, you were putting stumbling blocks. And if one of you should go there, the other will blame the other for standing in the way and stopping their chances. And they will not have that kind of anticipated enthusiasm, excitement of wanting to run to you and say, yeah, hallelujah, we're all together. It's an assumption that has no strong basis, no premise of reliance. So it's too risky. So without taking anything from these other political leaders, Boaka taking anybody from there will not do the job. And let me help you understand something else. People say politics is a number game. Today, Alexander Cummings, people say he had 125,000 votes. Cummings doesn't have less than 200,000 votes today. And he still got more time to campaign. Cummings is the hardest working politician in this country today. He's the fastest growing politician in the country today. He's not there yet. He's far below Boaka. He's below George Weah, but he's the fastest growing. The rest are not growing as fast. Cummings doesn't represent less than 200,000 votes. The Liberty Party that is under the influence of Musa Belete now doesn't represent less than 100,000 votes. Those two combined is a potential 300,000 vote basket that can help Ambassador Boaka boost his campaign. In addition to that, you do not have the trouble of fighting each other in the opposition bloc. Imagine on the battlefield and you are expecting bullets to come from in front of you, that's why you are dodging, but you cannot deal with bullets that come from behind you. They call it friendly fire.
Ambassador Balo, Have you been paid by Cummings to run his campaign?
Well, normally some people will feel insulted by that question, but I will not.
Okay.
No, I've not been paid by Cummings. And if you know who John Balud is, you would never have dreamed of asking me that question. I'm a man who has been very consistent in my philosophy, in my pronouncements, in my posture, in my position, in the votes I've taken in the Senate. Even in my Unity Party government, I was the #1 critic of my own president from within. And she knows that, and they all know that. I pay a price for that. I lost my election because the very same hierarchy of my party fought me in my campaign. They supported my rival candidate. You understand that? That's the price you pay when you sacrifice for the better good of the country. I always say there's a difference between a mere politician and a statesman. A mere politician does things to get re-elected. Everything he does or she does is to get re-elected. Statesmen and women, they do things in the interest of the next generation, and even if it means paying the price for it. That's why statesmen are not so popular in certain contexts in these places. That's why people of good value don't last. Okay. The schemers are always there. The opportunists are always there. They hip from one line to another. They play one thing, they dance, booga dance every time campaign come in, all that kind of stuff. They're always there. So please, no, I've not been paid by Cummings. In fact, Cummings, on the contrary, thinks I'm undermining his efforts. You understand me? Mm. And why would Cummings pay me to be what, second? I'm speaking for Ambassador Bwaka to be the standard bearer. And I'm asking Alexander Cummings, yes, Mr. Cummings, I hold you in very high esteem. I said it before and without any regret. As much as I am closer to Ambassador Bwaka, I say to you, Bwaka is the man of the day because he has the greatest capacity, potential of winning the elections today. He is the man of the day because he commands the majority vote in the opposition bloc. He's the man of the day because he's the most experienced politician in the country today. He's the most knowledgeable politician in the country today. He is the man of the day because he had accumulated empirical evidence, again we refer to, more than twice of the collective votes of all the other opposition leaders combined. He is the man of the day.
Okay.
But mind you, Alexander Cummings is the man of tomorrow. Joseph Bwaka will take the elections, and I will count on Alexander Cummings to build a nation. He is the gift given to this country by God. I was speaking in Nuku Town on Easter Sunday when I should have been with my family. They invited me. I went there. And I said to them, stop insulting Alexander Cummings. This is not only the greatest and most competent Liberian that I know, he is one of the greatest and most competent individuals on the planet. This man went to the United States and conquered corporate America. A Liberian man born there, went to school here, went the first 2 years at Cottington before going to the United States. He climbed the corporate ladder against the odds that he was faced with. The man got no family member in America to say to my nephew who knows you. I told them to Google the net value of Coca-Cola. I asked them, we had it interactive. They Googled it. You know what they came up to? More than $267 billion net worth. That's what this man was controlling. You think a man like that reached to that ladder because he's incompetent? You think he reached that ladder because he's corrupt?
So
he's indisciplined? He's not reliable? This is the solution to Liberia's problem. We pray every day, God, when will our problems stop? Help us, help us, help us. God has sent our help, and that's coming. But he's not the man of the day.
Have you had a personal conversation with both of them individually, and perhaps Ambassador Bwaka told you, yes, if Cummings come, I will, work with him, and Cummings said the same thing?
Well, I will say this to you. I've had numerous conversations with them, and I'm not in the business of, saying what we said, especially so when it is not something that, we all had agreed on. So that would be embarrassing, and that would be unprofessional, ethical. What I can say is that, yes, we've had this conversation. Yes, everybody doesn't seem to be against the other. but it's just that we can't find a common ground. Okay, everyone seems to be fixed in their position. And I'm just saying to people, I beg you, this is the time to put the interests of the country before your interests. There's a time and place for everything. There's a time to differ. There's a time to reconcile. There's a time to fight. There's a time to mend fences. This is the time to put our differences aside. And the most complicated part of this thing is the entire country agrees with what we're saying. Every Liberian, majority in the diaspora agree. Majority of the people in this country agree. I've received hundreds of text messages and calls. They all agree. The problem here is there are some forces working against this idea. From the communist camp, from the workers camp, from the diaspora, from this country, right? There are forces working against it. And for their own reasons that I can speak to. Okay? But I just say to them, you are all dead wrong. Stop it. No other pair, no other ticket, no other configuration of the opposition can unite the opposition except Cummings and Bwaka. No other, and we're not just talking mere, because of United States will throw the country. No, no other team is poised and more capacitated to deliver on what we want for the country. This country, number one problem is unity, reconciliation, and economy. Bwaka brings that sanity as the elderly statesman. He rallies the support of the people across the country. He is the choice of the people. He has inspired the people. He is a man of integrity. This man has led us for a long time. And no one person can say anything about his competence, his integrity, his attitude. The only thing you'll say, what did they say? Tell me.
I don't know.
You understand me? Oh man, sleeping. You understand? It's because you can't say anything else. It's because you can't say anything else. That's the debate. Now, with this kind of person we have, which is a gift to this country, this man in the lead with a younger person like Cummings, who knows exactly what to do in this country. Who knows exactly what to do. Cummings has done it before. I hear some people say Cummings is not the only man here for people in the diaspora. He's not the only man who works in America. Which one of you have worked in America to the level of Cummings? Which Liberian in the entire world has ever reached Cummings' level? This man is a tested material. He's a gift. And I don't want to lose him. I don't want the country to lose him. That's why I'm begging him, Cummings, your time will come. It's not now. I beg you, put your differences, forget about the court case. Such is life. You understand? Bwaka too had his fair share of disappointment. You know, the 2017 election. I mean, Cummings didn't go out publicly to support Bwaka when Bwaka was looking for this help. You understand me? Bwaka harbors that also. People, these things hurt each other. But guess what? It's not about you.
It's not about you.
It's about the country. It's about it. God can call any one of us anytime. What are we doing with the little time that we have, with the breath that He's giving us now? Now. Well, let's do something about it. And that's what I'm going to appeal to them. That's why I ask all those who are supporting them, who are around them, stop it. Let's put our hands around these people. United we stand, divided we fall.
Okay. There is no other voice in this country that's championing the cause of an opposition collaboration, especially a Joseph Bwaka and Alexander Cummings Tike, other than Senator John Balud. And I think you will be recorded if this ticket does happen. Let's go to the phone lines now on 055-107-105-100 and 077-105-100. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, Fidel. Good morning to Dennise. And good morning to Honorable Balu. I'm Lawrence Spencer. I'm in Johnsonville Township. You know, Fidel, the main command is young brother. I mean, Mr. Balu, you are putting yourself on the record. We in the opposition, if we cannot listen to you, history is ours to be remembered. I want to commend you. It's the right step in the right direction. And like you said, there are people in both sides this year who consider to make it difficult because of their own selfish reason. And that's the labyrinth thing.
All right.
I want to say thank you for bringing a young brother, and your points, I think, is in the right direction. So
Okay. All right.
All our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 077-105-100, 055-105-100. The numbers to call this morning and speak with Senator John Balut. He's our guest on the program this morning. Take that call, Dennise. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good.
My name is John Gala, and I come from Jala. I want to be very, very thankful to Senator John Balu. He and all men is a great thing and a great pleasure. For Senator John Balu is carrying on this initiative. I think we from the opposition, we are very, very happy in our with him at the Unified Headquarters. And just as we said, the two persons that just called Ambassador Joseph Imam Bonket and that of Azana Community are the best now in the opposition. So for him going on around 30 people for the topic and to convince them for them to accept our excuse, I think it was very, 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 very helpful.
Okay.
And we are grateful. And just like you said, come to Ghana, please. There are other elements ready around Ambassador Bonket and Mr. Kumi that don't want politics to hold. But we pray that by the grace of God, Senator Balu, the initiative will come to pass. Thank you very much.
Okay, his initiative will come to pass. All right, keep your calls coming. Let's take another person here. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Fidel. Let me say good morning to Alexa. My name is Thomas and I'm from Grand.
This is not
Well, let me appreciate this morning for the talking point. Also, let me appreciate Almighty God for pumping breath into all our voice to be heard. I think if I listen to Senator Balu and the former Senator, but if I listen to him, he said the future of our country is the brother ahead. Let me say this.
Oh, you ran off the line. Another person is here. Let me take this one. Good morning. Yes, sir.
I'm calling from VOA.
Yeah, you have to speak out a bit louder.
All right. Thank you very much. And thanks to your studio game. But I want to disagree with me on the point one of the points that he made.
Yep.
Good morning, Dennise.
Good morning.
This party is due for every single. Actually, let me just take you to Senator Balu. I think she spoke well. But then Senator, the Bible tells us who has to agree before they work together. So I'm praying that the two will agree to work together. That chicken is the best chicken.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Another person is here. Okay, let's take that one here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Latanche Roland Trubert. I'm from Monrovia.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both, and thank you to I say good morning to Senator Balu. You know, Senator Balu, though I do not know him personally, but he is one of the patriotic Liberians I've ever heard. Every time he talks, he speaks about Liberia, he's very passionate and sound patriotic. He has been very consistent on this issue. And I think people should listen to him. These two gentlemen are the two finest sons of Liberia. One has all the credibility, has all the pedigree, and the other one is electable. So let's blend the two. Because when you have these two gentlemen on the ticket, it's a one-shot beat. Look, By the time this thing goes through, if Senator Balu you succeed, the day this thing is announced, the whole PDP will crumble. And a lot of them will, out of shame, they will not contest the election. They might escape this country. So you are on a good venture. All of us are in support, and we will support you. We will do all we can. Pray to God that this ticket will be successful and it will be a fulfilled ticket so that we can have a one-shot beat. Thank you, and God bless you, and have a great day.
Okay, thank you. Let's take another person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Lawrence F. From MC Snapper Hill. Yeah, the senator is speaking well, but in other meaning terms, I think when you are in a collaboration, Cummings is saying that he can't be number two to anybody. Meaning that he may have the capital, and Joseph Walker has the larger electorate. He has worked in corporate life well, fine, but he has not worked in public life. Look at the December 7 rally. They took 70,000 in thin air. Look, these people, I think he got just gone beyond Waka in our collaboration and Jeremy knew that ticket was set. But the argument was there, and Joseph Waka led the collaboration. So what can I do? I think we see the election going to run up. On the run up now is where we will save Liberia. That Cummings and Waka did not have people at that time to agree to save Liberia. Because CDC cannot make 50% plus one. Look at the most corporate, they are not paying people. The hospital system not working. The road medicine from people to Twala. What is one that cost the
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Man, to everything. Let's go back and take this person. 2 more minutes. Let's take one more and call it a day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Fidel Castro City. This is Lucky J.
Lucky J, go ahead.
Your guest spoke just like a student from the Lux in Tenebreak class. He spoke just like a student from the Lux in Tenebreak class. Wise men changes, only fools don't change. I'll be too happy if we can listen to him and then we'll put up our voter thinking cap to make sure we put our vote in the right direction. It is time to put up your voter thinking cap. No mama Nigeria.
Okay.
We rise and shine again.
All right.
Have a good morning, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you. Dennise, Tom is out. But Senator Balud, go ahead and respond to him.
Well, let me just say that I think everyone has spoken in favor. So I'm very grateful to that. And we thank them. But more important than just saying kind things and supporting this is standing up and being part of it.
Okay.
You know, we are gathering this Thursday, April 13 at 10 a.m. outside of the Unity Party office to present a petition to our father, Ambassador Bwaka. You understand? We are going to present him this petition, asking him to play that leadership role and consider working with Mr. Cummings as his vice.
Okay.
In the interest of we the people. We're going to march over to the CPP office to follow up with this petition ceremony. We're going to give Mr. Cummings his petition statement, asking him to put down his own personal ambition right now to go as vice to Ambassador Bwaka in the interest of this country. So please come up, and I will call these numbers now. You know, we have another group that have come as a result of what I've been saying.
Okay.
A lot of young people from the Unity Party, from the ANC, from the Liberty Party, from the ALP, from all of the, including some of these seditions who left their party. They said, look, we all agree with your message resonates. So they are in their numbers working together. They've had a couple of press statements already together. The first time these guys went on with a press statement, believe me, they got 28,000 views in 2-3 days.
Oh, wow.
You understand me? This is the endorsement. This is the overwhelming endorsement of the citizens of this country in Liberia, in the diaspora. So let me call these numbers so that you can call them. They are the organizers of this thing. I'm going to be in front of it. I'm going to lead with them. And I just want us, the older people, to be with the youth of this country. It is their fight, and we should understand it is their future we're talking about. So I'll call these numbers 07777 08060. I repeat, 07777 08060. The second number, 0880 783 324. I repeat, 0880 783 324. Call these numbers. Be part of it. If you don't get them, we're gathering April 13th, Thursday, this Thursday, next 3 days. 10 a.m. outside of the Unity Party office on Broad Street, Snapper Hill. From there, we'll just go and present this. We've written Ambassador Boakar already. We've written Mr. Cummings already. We've asked them in that letter to please do us the honor and receive this petition in person.
Okay.
Because some people want to tell, oh, that will go collect it. No. We're begging them.
No proxy.
We, the citizens of this country, humbly appeal to you to grant us that honor of receiving this in person. And we have no doubt they're going to receive it in person because these are political leaders that will respect and respond to the wishes and aspirations of the people. So we appeal to them to be there. Let me caution our people. The worst nightmare for CDC is this ticket. Is this ticket that disciplined CDC twice in Monserrato in less than 2 years. It is this ticket that had CDC looking like a wet dog with a tail between the legs. This is the ticket. That caller who said it, he's absolutely correct. When this ticket is announced, the country is upside down. The ruling party will be frightened and they will panic and they will start to go in disarray. On the other hand, the citizens of this country will be energized, mobilized, and inspired to get involved and play the active role in ensuring that this thing is done once and for all properly.
Thank you, Mr. Palo.
Let me say finally,
We are out of time.
there are some people who benefited from the United CPP. You understand me? In the last elections. There are some people who benefited in the very legislature. I call on these people to give back to the CPP. The citizens of this country, through the unity of mind, purpose, and action of the United CPP, deliver victory to them. It is time for them to lead this cause and give back to the CPP because they know they are a beneficiary of this process, of this working formula. They know that united, they are the product of a unity. They must now be the champion of this unity. To whom much is given, much is expected. May God bless us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator John Balut. He's the lead campaigner for a united opposition, specifically with a unity party in ANC. So we'd like to say thanks to you for accepting our invitation and being on our platform this morning. We look forward to more of these engagements. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, folks, thank you for tuning in. We have to go right now. It has been a great presentation. See you tomorrow morning. We'll be right here on the program. Do have yourselves a great day. Remember, Liberia is the only country we have, and we must keep her peaceful at all times. Bye-bye.
I like it.